that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that. Because decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people, they want us to tackle the issues that they see around them. And of course, the truth is, we won't solve our problems if we don't also take on the root causes, looking upstream to tackle poverty, conflict.
Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and salute to the hopeful elect, pushing this word in truth and sincerity, hoping to receive mercy from Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Yahweh is the name of our Heavenly Father, that's who the world ignorantly calls God. Yahushai is the name of his only begotten Son, that's who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. And you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Latinos, we are the Israelites according to the prophecies of the Holy Scriptures. So, okay, this is the brother Shamar from the JMS Jamaica camp. And yeah, we're in that time. Let me see if I can play that video again.
And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID.
Right, so this is the Parliament for the United Kingdom announcing that mandatory digital IDs will be needed. They're passing a brand new law, breaking news as of September 26, 2025, that you won't be able to work unless you have a mandatory digital ID. You know, they also mentioned that they're going to give it out for free, but everyone needs a mandatory digital ID, right? So we're seeing Esau pushing towards this great reset, you know, and just to give you a recap on what digital ID entails, you know, eventually this is what it's coming to a town near you, because this will be implemented globally, and eventually it's going to cover all areas of your life. It's going to be all encompassing. So it's going to cover your health care for users to access health insurance, health treatment, to monitor health devices, for your health provider to demonstrate, or for a health provider to demonstrate their qualifications. So if you're going to purchase healthcare services, or you're going to sell healthcare services, like if you're a doctor, if you want to practice health, you're going to have to be using your digital ID, right? Mandatory. To access financial services, so that is to open bank accounts, carry out online financial transactions, you will need a digital ID, mandatory. This is coming to a town near you. This is the time we're entering into. This is the reset of the global economic system, going towards a digital global economic system everywhere. Mandatory, which by the way is a very oppressive system, very oppressive, right? It's very oppressive. I can't even use another word. So to access food and sustainability for farmers and consumers, to verify provenance of produce, to enhance value and traceability, to buy and sell food, right? You will need a mandatory digital ID. And we're seeing the first country put that in place being the UK, right? To travel, to access services, to work in a foreign country, right? E-commerce, to shop online, to conduct business transactions, and to secure payments, you will need that mandatory digital ID. Social media platforms for social interactions, to access third-party services that rely on social media logins, right? You will need that mandatory digital ID. E-government, So that is for citizens to access and use services, file their taxes, vote, collect government benefits, whatever they're handing out at that time. You will need a mandatory digital ID. And even to telecommunications, such as for users to use their telecommunication service providers, whether it's AT&T, Digicel, whatever your local Sprint, whatever Verizon, whatever your local telecommunication is, you will need that digital ID to monitor devices, sensors, for transmitting data such as energy usage, air quality, traffic congestion, anything like that. Digital identity mandatory will be required, right? And if you don't understand how this is oppressive, if you violate, say for instance, you post something like with the whole Captain Kirk situation, a lot of people have been posting their opinions about it, and have been losing their jobs, being expelled from schools. So whatever future thing might happen, not saying the death of someone, it could be anything. It could be the whole COVID situation, something like that come up and you voice your opinion that goes against the narrative of the government. All these services you see on the screen you could be ostracized from using them, right? So that's how oppressive it will be if you're not in line with what the government narrative says there, how you're supposed to be in line in that time. You could very well find that your mandatory digital ID will be switched off or cancelled or suspended or whatever term they're going to use, and you won't be able to buy, sell, or use any of these services we just went over. So let me get the precept. This is Revelation 13 verse 16. And he causeth all, both small, great. First of all, who is he? He is the person that's in charge, the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? They covered the faces of the judges thereof. So the wicked will be ruling. The book of Malachi tells us that Esau is the border of wickedness, right? When you see wickedness, Esau is at the center of it, right? They're known as the biblical wicked. So he is the one that's in charge right now, who is bringing this, who the Lord Slacker, who the Lord Yahweh Shemesha is using to bring this charagma, man. So let's start again, Revelation 13 verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, anywhere in your body. We'll go into that word mark in a second. So it should be something inside your body, in your right hand, in your forehead, which really means anywhere in your body, and that no man might buy or sell. So we see it has to do with commerce. No man might buy or sell, save he that have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So let's look up what the Greek word is for the word mark. Gonna do this over and over again, because we need to wake up the elect so they can be saved, man. So the word mark is actually the Greek word charagma, which goes back to a stamp or imprinted mark, something that will be imprinted inside your body, inside you, imprinted, right? Something imprinted into you. And the root word for the word charagma is the Greek word charax, which outlines how it's going to be implemented. It's going to be implemented using a pail or a stake or a palisade. Imagine the tip of a pencil, the tip of a ballpoint pen, the tip of a syringe, right? That's what is going to be used to implement that microchip, which is the RFID chip, into you. Let me go back to this. Because once all this information, such as your healthcare, financial services, travel, like your passport, things like that, your visa, e-commerce, your government services, your telecommunications, your social media, which all that is consolidated into one place. The next step going to be put it on the ultimate biometric and insert it in your body, and they're gonna say it's because to prevent fraud or to prevent, theft or fraud is probably what they're gonna say. Use that biometric, that microchip inside everyone, because unless you lose your hand or the body part that it was inserted in, then it's supposed to be secure, right? But you also can be tracked, it can be monitored if you're not in line with what the government says you're supposed to do. You can be ostracized from society. Your digital identity can be turned off, and you won't be able to access any of these services here. That's the oppressive plan of the wicked, man. This system is not there for your convenience. It's there to control and manipulate and ultimately destroy you, right? And back to Karax, which was the root word for charagma, which is the mark. If you look at the root word for the word Karax, it goes back to grapho, which refers to what is going to be on that microchip, which is written information. To write with reference to the form of letters, to delineate or form letters. So it's basically information, and what information going to be on that chip. It's all outlined here. Your healthcare records, your financial services, your travel and mobility information like your passport, driver's license, your e-commerce information, your Amazon account, whatever, your social media platforms, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, e-government, telecommunication, all these things is the information that's going to be written on it, right? So you won't be able to work, you won't be able to buy and sell if you don't have that mark. And the Lord tell us not to take that mark, not to take that charagma. Habakkuk 2 verse 1, because this is the time of the vision. We've seen the vision speaking. Because in past times, or elderly family or people would say that from their grandmother, their grandfather, great grandfather days, they've heard about these prophecies, not knowing that these prophecies are going to be fulfilled in their time. The vision is for this time we're in right now. This is Habakkuk 2 verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower. I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. So, the Lord has made us watchmen, man. We're watching out mainly to see these prophecies come to pass, so we can measure the time diligently to know what time we're in and how far our Lord is away from returning, man. And we'll measure how far the Lord is through the prophecies, man. And one of the final prophecies is the mark of the beast prophecy, MOTB, World War III, and then after that it's just the Lord returning. Right, so verse 2, and the Lord Yahweh Shemashai answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables. Write the prophecy and make it plain, so that he may run that readeth it. Right, for the vision, this is the point, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So the prophecies is for an appointed time, and at the end it shall speak and not lie. So even though a lot of people been hearing about this MOTB prophecy their whole life, till they start to ignore it and they forget about it and move on with them life, the time we're in right now, which is the end, that is the time of the prophecy. So when we see things going towards the prophecy, we know what time we're in, the end. And at the end, the Lord is returning to not only dish out mass judgment upon the nations and 2/3 of our people in the land of America, the Lord is also going to show mercy and deliver his elect from the four winds, from the four corners of the earth. Right? So that's the end time we're coming into right now, because we're seeing the vision speaking and not lying. So though it tarry, wait for it. It will surely come, it will not tarry. So we saw that the vision seemed to be tarrying, in your grandmother days, great grandmother days, great grandfather days, the vision seemed to be tarrying, but at the end we see it, the time we're in right now, we're seeing the vision speaking loud and clear, so we know we're in the time of the end. Right?
that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this parliament.
So that's the time we're entering into, man. Repent unto Yahweh Hashem Yashai. The doors of our repentance are swiftly closing, man. Repent unto the Lord, because after this, we know it's Jacob's trouble coming, World War III, and this MOTB prophecy, and then after that is world, the deliverance and the destruction. Jacob's trouble, MOTB, World War III, all happening at the same time. Well, we already saw the earthquakes in diverse places. We already saw the signs the Lord told us to look out for. Wars and rumors of wars. But we see what time we're entering into, because the visions are playing out. So that means we're in the end, man. All praises to Yahweh Bashim Yashai Bashim Akakodash. Shalom.